And with so many Michigan families kicking off the unofficial start of summer with trips this weekend.
And Memorial Day travel is expected to break records. In fact, according to AAA, 1.3 million Michiganders will travel this holiday weekend. That's an increase of 37,000 compared to last year, and the second highest on record. And 45.1 million people will travel nationwide. And that's up 1.4 million from last year, which is a new Memorial Day weekend record, surpassing the old record of 44 million set back in 2005.
And this weekend will be the first busy holiday travel period with the new Real ID requirements that started. We expect today to be one of the busiest days at airports across the country. We have 7 News Detroit's Ryan Marshall, who is live at Detroit Metro this morning, checking on the crowds and hearing from some early morning travelers. Ryan?
Hey, good morning to you and good morning everybody out there. These travelers are here and there are quite a few of them. We talked to some of them. They feel very confident that things are going to go smoothly today on the busiest travel day of the Memorial Day holiday weekend. But certainly, as you can see behind me, there are a lot of people trying to check in. These security check-in lines are starting to pick up. One of the biggest pain points that we think is going to create some delays is this security checkpoint, potentially security checkpoint delays. They are going to be checking real IDs to make sure that people are real ID compliant. Of course, that went into effect earlier this month. How do you know if you are real ID compliant? You can check right here. If you have a Michigan state license and at the top right-hand corner of that license, you have a star encased in gold, that will mean that you are Michigan licensed, if that Michigan real ID compliant. If you have a star inside of a Michigan logo, that'll also mean that as well. If you have another state ID, if you have a black star or a gold star, or even if you have a flag here, you will be Michigan ID compliant. I'm going to step out of the shot here for just a second so you can see just how busy this airport has become in the last 30 minutes. If you are not real ID compliant, then you'll have to bring another acceptable form of identification, such as like a passport or a trusted traveler card. Now, since the real ID requirement went into effect earlier this month, TSA says 93% of passengers coming through the airport security checkpoints were compliant. But of course, some travelers we talked to weren't exactly sure if they were or not. Do you know if you're real ID compliant?
No, I'm not. Because I didn't go to Secretary of State and didn't go to handle that yet. So, but I got my passport just in case.
You guys do know that you're real ID compliant?
Yes, we do.
Was that a conversation in the house like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't know if my ID or whatever is compliant or not?
No, I travel quite a bit for work, so it was easy for me to get. I think a few years ago when it first came out is when I got compliant, and she got hers a couple years ago too.
All right, back here live at Detroit Metro Airport's McNamara Terminal, and you can really see right here Sky Priority and these security checkpoints that things are really picking up. AAA projects that holiday air travel is going to surpass pre-pandemic levels by 12% nationwide. Detroit Metro Airport's most likely going to stay on that trend. So if there are going to be any delays, the real ID checks are going to certainly be the major pain point here. These security checkpoint lines are going to grow, and if that becomes a travel concern, people may have to wait a little bit extra to make sure that TSA agents are seeking and making sure that you are, in fact, TSA real ID compliant. We're here at Detroit Metro Airport's McNamara Terminal. I'm Ryan Marshall for 7 News Detroit this morning.
Yeah, Ryan, I have reported at the airport many times before, and I can tell you, usually around this time, it's not that busy. So the fact that at 5:30 you have that many people in line lets you know how busy of a travel day this is. Thank you for that live report.
And that's even knowing that the vast majority of us are traveling by car this weekend. AAA says an estimated 45 million people will hit the roads over the weekend, or will travel over the weekend, 39 million taking the roads. Now, if you are leaving today, AAA says the best time to hit the roads is before 11 a.m. And on the way home, if you're coming back on Memorial Day itself, you'll want to hit the roads by 2 p.m. Now, I just checked AAA's gas tracker, and the average price for a gallon of regular unleaded here in Michigan now sits at $3.26 a gallon. That's down 43 cents from last year when a gallon of regular unleaded cost an average of $3.69.